These letters were found in the apartment of Maya Patel, a 34-year-old software engineer who hadn't slept in 127 days. They were written to her younger sister Priya, who died in a car accident 3 years ago. Maya was found in her apartment on June 3, 2024, apparently having finally fallen asleep at her desk. She never woke up.
Day 89 without sleep. Dear Priya, I know you can't read this, but I need to tell someone what's happening to me. The doctors say chronic insomnia like this should be impossible. The human body is supposed to force sleep eventually, even if it kills you. But I haven't slept since March 15th, the anniversary of your accident. I started staying awake that night because I was afraid I'd dream about the crash again, about how I should have been in that car with you, how I canceled our dinner plans because I was too tired from work. Too tired. The irony isn't lost on me. But something's changed, Priya. I'm not just avoiding sleep anymore. I literally can't sleep. My body has forgotten how. I lie in bed for hours feeling the weight of exhaustion, but my mind stays sharp and alert. It's like I'm trapped in a permanent state of almost sleep, where everything feels thin and translucent. The worst part, I'm starting to see things that aren't there, or maybe that are there, and I'm finally seeing them clearly for the first time. Love, Maya. Day 95 without sleep. Dear Priya, I had a revelation today. What if sleep isn't rest? What if it's hiding? Every night, billions of people close their eyes and disappear for 8 hours. They go somewhere else, leaving their bodies behind like empty shells. But where do they go, and what moves through the world while they're gone? I've been walking through the city at 3 a.m. when the sleepers are deepest in their unconsciousness. The streets feel different then, heavier, like the air itself is holding its breath. And sometimes I swear I can see shapes moving in the windows of sleeping houses. Not the people who live there, something else. Something that wears their faces while they dream. Maybe insomnia isn't a curse. Maybe it's a gift. Maybe I'm the only one awake enough to see what really happens when the world sleeps. I found your old journal today, the one you kept during your senior year when you were having those nightmares. Do you remember what you wrote about the Watchers? About how you felt like something was standing at the foot of your bed every night, just observing. I think I know what you were seeking now. Love, Maya. Day 95 without sleep. Dear Priya, I had a revelation today. What if sleep isn't rest? What if it's hiding? Every night, billions of people close their eyes and disappear for 8 hours. They go somewhere else, leaving their bodies behind like empty shells. But where do they go, and what moves through the world while they're gone? I've been walking through the city at 3 a.m. when the sleepers are deepest in their unconsciousness. The streets feel different then, heavier, like the air itself is holding its breath. And sometimes I swear I can see shapes moving in the windows of sleeping houses. Not the people who live there, something else. Something that wears their faces while they dream. Maybe insomnia isn't a curse. Maybe it's a gift. Maybe I'm the only one awake enough to see what really happens when the world sleeps. I found your old journal today, the one you kept during your senior year when you were having those nightmares. Do you remember what you wrote about the Watchers? About how you felt like something was standing at the foot of your bed every night, just observing. I think I know what you were seeking now. Love, Maya. Day 108 without sleep. Dear Priya, I can't tell what's real anymore. The boundaries between waking and sleeping have blurred beyond recognition. I exist in a constant state of lucid dreaming, except I'm not asleep. I've been researching sleep deprivation, trying to understand what's happening to my brain. The hallucinations should be random, chaotic, but they're not. They're consistent, purposeful, and they're showing me things I couldn't possibly know, like Mrs. Chan from 4B. I saw her in the hallway yesterday, but she looked wrong. Her movements were too fluid, too deliberate, and her eyes, they were focused on something I couldn't see, something behind me. When I turned around, there was nothing there, but I felt it, a presence, watching. Later, I learned Mrs. Chen had been in the hospital for 3 days, surgery, under anesthesia. So who was I talking to in the hallway? I think the sleepers leave something behind when they go, a hollow space in the shape of a person, and something else fills that space, something that's been waiting for the opportunity. Priya, I need to tell you something. The night you died, I wasn't just tired from work. I had taken sleeping pills, strong ones. I was unconscious for 12 hours while you were calling for help, while you were dying alone on that highway. What if I hadn't been asleep? What if I had been there? Love, Maya. Day 119 without sleep. Dear Priya, I understand now why you were so afraid of sleeping near the end. It wasn't just nightmares, was it? You could sense them too, the watchers, the things that move through our world while we're defenseless. I've been visiting the places where people sleep, hospitals, nursing homes, even just apartment buildings where families are tucked away in their beds. And I can see them now, the watchers. They're not malevolent exactly, they're just interested, studying us, learning from us. Each night they wear our faces and walk through our lives, experiencing what it's like to be human. They go through our routines, touch our belongings, stand in our showers, eat our food. They're not trying to replace us, they're trying to understand us. But sometimes they get confused, sometimes they forget they're not really us. And when the sleeper wakes up, there's a moment of overlap, a confusion of identity. That's when people wake up feeling like they've forgotten something important, or like they're not quite themselves. I think you knew this, Priya. I think that's why you were so afraid to sleep in those final weeks. You could feel them getting closer, becoming more interested in you specifically. And now I know why. Love, Maya. Day 127 without sleep. Dear Priya, I can see you now. You're standing in the corner of my room, just like you used to when we were kids and you were afraid of the dark, but you're not afraid anymore. You're patient, waiting. I understand now why I can't sleep. It's not insomnia, it's grief. I've been holding on to wakefulness like a lifeline, afraid that if I let go, I'll lose the last connection I have to you. But you're not in my memories, are you? You're in the space between sleeping and waking, the place where the watchers live. You've been one of them all along, ever since the accident, ever since I failed to save you. The watchers aren't strangers, they're the people we've lost. The ones who died while we were sleeping, or who died because we were sleeping. They come back to experience life through us, to feel what they can no longer feel. But you haven't been watching random sleepers, have you? You've been watching me, waiting for me to join you, waiting for me to finally let go. I'm so tired, Priya. I'm so tired of being awake, of being alive, of carrying this guilt. I want to sleep. I want to dream. I want to go wherever you go when the world closes its eyes. The watchers aren't the ones we should fear. We're the ones who should fear ourselves, our guilt, our grief, our inability to let go of the people we've lost. But I'm ready now. I'm ready to stop watching and start being watched. Love, Maya. Day 128 without sleep. Dear Priya, I can feel myself letting go. The exhaustion is finally winning. My body is shutting down, but my mind is opening up. I can see the space between waking and sleeping, and it's beautiful. It's full of everyone who's ever loved someone enough to stay and watch over them. You're not gone. None of them are gone. They're just sleeping differently now, dreaming through us, living through us, loving through us. I'm not afraid anymore. I'm ready to sleep. I'm ready to dream. I'm ready to watch over someone else the way you've been watching over me. The only question is, who will I choose to love back to life? Love, Maya.
Maya Patel was found at her desk on June 3, 2024, having apparently died in her sleep. The coroner's report stated that she died of complications from chronic sleep deprivation, but her face showed an expression of profound peace. Her sister Priya had died exactly 3 years earlier in a car accident while Maya was sleeping. The apartment was undisturbed, with no signs of struggle or distress. The only unusual detail was that every clock in the apartment had stopped at 3:17 a.m., the exact time of Priya's accident. Maya's computer was still running, displaying a photo of her and Priya from their childhood. In the photo, Maya is sleeping peacefully while Priya sits beside her, wide awake and watching. Some say that if you look closely at the photo, you can see other figures in the background. Watchers, guardians, people who loved someone enough to stay. Sweet dreams.